Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math.
I'm Sean Gannon, and this is Minute Math. And today we're learning about evaluating variable expressions. I'm going to evaluate each using the values given. So, if I was given this expression, n squared minus m, and we need to use m to equal 7 and n equal 8. Okay? So the first thing I'm looking at, we have m is 7, n is 8. Let's substitute those in for the variables here. So n squared, n being 8 squared, minus m is 7. Now at this point, we just got to simplify. 8 squared minus 7. So let's go. 8 squared is 64. Subtract 7. Okay? What's 64 minus 7, right? 64 minus 7 is a 57, and so our final answer here is just 57. 8 times x minus y, and we're going to use x equal to 5 and y equal to 2. Okay? So all we're going to do is take this expression and substitute 5 and 2 for x and y respectively. So 8 times x is 5 minus y we said was 2. And now it's time to simplify. Parentheses come first. 5 minus 2 is 3. So we have 8 and 3 right there, right? 8 times 3, 3 being what's in the parentheses. Multiplication happens with the parentheses. So 8 times 3 is 24. And our final answer now is 24. Y, x divided by 2. And we have to use x equal to 7 and y equal to 2. Okay? So this yx is y times x. So we'll substitute in 7 and 2 for y and x, or x and y, and see where we're at. So y, they told us, was 2. And I put parentheses around it to help keep everything separated so I can see what's going on. Makes it clear. And x is 7. Then we divide by 2. Okay? Well, let's read left to right multiplication first. 2 times 7 is 14. Then we divide by 2. 14 divided by 2 is back to 7. So our final answer here is just 7. M minus n divided by 4. And we need to use m equals 5 and n equals 8. Okay? So first thing, substitute the variables and their numbers, corresponding values, right? M is 5, plug that in here, and n is 8. And I recommend using parentheses to show which ones you substituted in. So now I have 5 minus 8 divided by 4. Order of operations would say we have to do division first. 8 divided by 4. So 5 stays here. 8 divided by 4 is a 2. So now we have 5 minus 2. Okay? Well, 5 minus 2 is 3. And so our final answer now is just 3. X minus y plus 6. And we got to use x equals 6 and y equals 1. Okay? Well, first thing here, we need to substitute 6 and for x and 1 for y. So let's do that. 6 here for x, parentheses to show I substituted it in, y is 1, and then we have plus 6. Now we just simplify. 6 minus 1 is a 5. That's a weird looking 5, but it's there. And then bring down the 6. 5 plus 6 is 11. So our final answer here is just 11. Z plus x to the third. I'm going to use x equals 1 and z equals 19. Substitute the numbers for their corresponding variable. Z is first is 19 plus x is 1 to the third power. Okay? Now let's simplify. 1 to the third is just 1. Remember, 1 to the third, 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Bring down the 19. 19 plus 1 is 20. So our final answer here is just 20. y plus yx, okay? And we need to use x equals 15 and y equals 8, okay? Well, first thing, we substitute our variables for their corresponding values. Y is 8 here, so 8 plus 8 again for that y times x is 15. And here's where I recommend parentheses, right? Showing which values were substituted in. Order of operations says multiplication is first, 8 times 15. So let's do it on the side here, 15 times 8. 8 times 5 is 40, 0 carry the 4. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 is 12. So we have 120 there. So we have 8 comes down, 8 times 15, 120. Now, 8 plus 120 is easy, 128, and so there is our final answer. Q divided by 6 plus the letter P. And we're using P to be 10 and Q to equal 12. All right? So first thing, substitute our variables in. Q is 12, so we have 12 here, divided by 6 plus the letter P, which is 10. Now, parentheses helps when you substitute them in. I like to show which ones I substitute and put them in parentheses. It helps organize it. Okay? So now it's a simplification with the order of operations. 12 divided by 6 comes first, and that's a 2. Plus the 10 comes down. 2 plus 10 is 12. So final answer here is just 12. X plus 8 minus y, and we need to use x to be 20 and y to be 17. All right. First thing, substitute our variables in with their corresponding values. So x is 20, 20 here, and using parentheses does help organize this. Y is just 17. So now we're given an expression. Let's simplify. 20 plus 8 is 28. Then we subtract a 17 from the 28 and we get 11. So 11 now is just our final answer. 15 minus m plus p. And we got to use m equal to 3 and p equal to 10. All right? First step, substitute our values in. M for 3 and p for 10. Use parentheses if necessary. Here, I wouldn't necessarily do that because we already have parentheses. Up to you, but I think we can do it here. 3 for m, and p is 10. Now, we just simplify. 3 and 10, we add them first because they're in our parentheses. 3 plus 10 is 13, so 15 minus 13 here. Okay, now I don't really need the parentheses anymore because it's just one number, but if you really want to put it in, you can. 15 minus 13 is a 2, and so our final answer now is just 2. 10 minus, it's kind of a high subtraction sign there, so let's go fix that. You know, it's kind of pointless, but subtraction, x plus y divided by 2. And we're using x to be 5 and y to equal 2. All right? So, first things first, we substitute our values in. X for 5, y for 2. 5 for x here, so we have 10 minus x being 5 and y being 2. Then we're dividing by 2 at the end. Okay? So we have to follow our order of operations first. Division comes first here. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Any number divided by itself is just 1. Bring down everything else. Now, subtraction, addition. Let's go read left to right here. 10 minus 5 is 5 plus 1, and 5 plus 1 is 6. So our final answer here is just 6. P minus 2 plus Q times P, or QP. And we got to use P to be 7 and Q to equal good old 4. So, first step, substitute our variables with their numbers. P 7 minus 2 plus q is 4, and p again is 7. Use parentheses that can help you organize this, okay? So now let's simplify. 4 times 7. Well, what's 4 times 7? Well, 4 times 7 comes out to be 28, right? So we have 28 here, 28, and bring down everything else, minus 2 and the 7, 7 minus 2. Now we have subtraction and addition. Let's just read left to right. 7 minus 2 is a 5. And I bring that 28 down. 5 plus 28 is 33. So our final answer here is simple, 33. Z times y, zy plus 4y. And we're using y to be 5 and z to equal 2. All right, so first thing, substitute our variable with our corresponding numbers. 5 for y, z for 2. So we have 2 here. Then y is 5 plus 4 times y, which is 5. All right, now it's time to simplify. 2 times 5 is a 10, and 4 times 5 is 20. Now 10 plus 20 is 30, so our final answer here is just 30. B plus A plus B plus A. We're going to use A equals 9 and B to be 4. All right? First step, substitute our values in. A for 9 and B in 4. So we have 4 here times A and B. A is 9 plus B is 4. Plus lastly, 9 at the end for A. Okay? And my A's kind of look like 9s. All right, there we go. So simplify what's in the parentheses first. 9 plus 4 is 13. So we have 13 here. Bring down the 4 and the plus the 9. Okay? Multiplication is our next step in our order of operations. 4 times 13. Well, 13 times 4, if you don't know off the top of your head, 4 times 3 is 12. 2 carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. We got a 52 here. So we have 52. Bring down the 9. 52 plus 9, 61. And so our final answer is just 61. P squared divided by 4 minus m. And we're going to use m to be 3 and p to equal 4. Okay? So if well, first step, plug in our variables. M for 3, and p is 4, right? So 4 squared divided by 4 minus m, 3. Now, order of operations here are key. Exponents are the first step. 4 squared, 16. 16 divided by 4 minus 3. Now, division's our next step. 16 divided by 4 is bringing it back to 4. 4 is minus 3, and 4 minus 3 is just 1. So final answer here is just 1. X times y divided by 3 squared. And we're using x to be 4 and y to equal 9. All right? So, first step, substitute variables with their corresponding values. X is a 4 and y is a 9. 9 divided by 3. And that's all squared. Now we simplify. Inside this big parentheses comes first. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So we have 4 on the outside, 3, and we're squaring them. Okay? Now, 3 squared is our next step. Be careful. Some people want to square this first. Inside parentheses first. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So then 3 squared is back to 9. So we have 4 times 9. Okay? And then we're left with just 4 times 9 here. Well, 4 times 9 is 36. So our final answer here is just 36. 4 plus m plus n minus m. And we're using m to be 4, and n to equal 9. All right? So, first step, substitute our variables for their corresponding numbers. 4 plus m is 4. N, they told us, was 9. Subtracted by m again, which is 4. Okay? So now we just simplify. Left to right, all right? 4 plus 4 is 8. Plus 9 minus 4. 8 plus 9, 17 minus 4. 17 minus 4 is 13. So final answer here is just 13. Q times P plus Q minus P. And we're using P to be 7 and Q to equal 3. Okay? So first step, substitute our variables with their corresponding numbers. Q is 3 and P is 7. All right, Q again, 3 minus P, which is 7. At this point, it's just order of operations. So 3 times 7, 21, multiplication first. Okay? Now we have addition, subtraction. Let's just read left to right with this, okay? 21 plus 3 is 24. And then we're minusing 7. 24 minus 7 comes out to be 17. So our final answer here is just 17. M times n divided by 6 plus 10. And we're going to use m to be 7 and, and luckily with the letters, n is 6. All right? First step, substitute m for 7, n for 6. So m is 7, n is 6, and bring down the rest. Now we just simplify. Well, 7 times 6 is 42, and bring down the rest. 42 divided by 6 is 7. Okay? So we have now 7 plus 10. 7 plus 10 is 17. Final answer, 17. H plus letter J times J minus H. And we got to use H to be 2 and J to be 6. All right? First step, substitute our letters with their corresponding numbers. 2 for H, and J is 6. Okay? So 6 here minus 2. All right? There we got it. So, time to simplify. Well, parentheses first. 6 minus 2, 4. Got that in there. Bring down everything else. Okay? Multiplication is going on here. 6 times 4 is 24. Bring down the 2. 2 plus 24, right, is 26. So our final answer here is just 26. B minus 1 squared plus a squared. Okay? And we got to use a to be 6 and and we're looking at b to be 1. All right. First step, substitute 6 for a, b for 1. So 1 for this b, and a is 6. Okay? Well, now we simplify. Inside this parenthesis first, 1 minus 1 is 0. So we have 0, we're squaring that, and then we have, well, 6 squared. All right? Now, both of these are exponents, so we can do them at the same step. 0 squared is 0. 6 squared, 36. And we all know now 0 plus 36 is 36. Don't need it, so the final answer here is just 36. Y times x minus 9 minus 4y, double parentheses, and we're using x to be 4 and y to be 2. All right. First step, let's go substitute our values. X for 4, y for 2. 2 for y out here. X is a 4 minus 9 minus 4 times that y, which is 2. All right, make sure you get all those parentheses in, all right? All right, so kind of complicated to see here, but our first step on the most inside parenthesis and multiplication inside of it is 4 times 2. So 2 here, 4 minus 9 minus 4 times 2 is 8. We have 8 here, and there we go. All right, next step, 9 minus 8, most inside parenthesis, is a 1. So we have 2 times 4 minus 1, okay? Now, 4 minus 1 is a 3. So we have 2 times 3, again, most inside parenthesis, and 2 times 3 is 6. So final answer is just 6. X minus x minus x minus y to the third power. Ooh, make sure my parentheses are there. And we're using x to be 9 and y to be 1. All right, first step, putting values for their variables. X is 9, 9 minus 9 minus 9 minus, y to be 1. 1 to the third power, okay? Now we simplify. Well, 1 to the third power is just 1. So 9 minus 9 minus, 9 minus 1 here, okay? Most inside parenthesis, 9 minus 1 is 8. 9 minus 9 minus 8. Now, 9 minus 8 is back to 1. So we have 9 minus 1 here, okay? Remember, 9 minus 8 being 1. Now, what's left? 9 minus 1 is just 8, and so 8 is our final answer. J times h minus 9 to the third plus 2. And we got to use h to be 9, and get this, j to be 8. All right? First step, substitute our variables for their corresponding numbers. J is 8 right here, and h is 9. And bring down the plus 2. All right. Now we just simplify. Order of operations says within this big parenthesis right here, we need to simplify first. 9 minus 9 is 0. Anything subtracted by itself is 0. So 8, 0 on the inside to the third, plus 2. All right? Well, 0 to the third power, that's our next step. Exponents. Well, any number to the third power, right? Okay, well, not number to the third power, but 0 to the third power, 0 to any power is 0. So we have 8 times 0 here plus 2. 8 times 0 is just 0. Any number times 0 is 0. So we have 0 plus 2, and 0 plus 2 is 2. So our final answer is just 2.
Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. MinuteMathTutor.com.